And we're back.
Oh, she changed it up. You could see in her eyes. She was trying to come up with what she could say. And she did it.
Had to think about it for a moment, but we did it. It was good.
Hey, that's okay. Moment in time is worth waiting.
Fact. Beautiful words by Brad Draper.
Speaking of beautiful words, that's a little bit what we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Speaking life, words, happiness, bliss, joy, satisfaction, all the good resourceful things into your partner. And how important that really is. It's amazing. The words you use are really what you're focusing on. And it truly is the statement where you focus, you find. If you're focusing on unresourceful things, guess what you're going to find? Things of unresource. If you're always looking at your partner with things they're doing wrong, that's all you're going to see. You're just going to be filtered to see what they do wrong versus filtered to see what they do right. And I promise you, if you filter to see what they do right, you will see a whole lot more. That didn't make sense. A whole lot more and another side that you would not have ever seen.
And I feel like this is huge for the ladies because how often do women get together and they talk about all the things their partner is doing wrong or all the things they're annoyed about and they're venting and they're getting it out and they just go to their girls, their ladies, their best friends. That's who they confide in. And they tell them all the things that their partner is doing wrong. Well, guess what? That's what you're focusing on. Instead of telling your friends all the things that your partner's doing wrong, how about you find the things that they're doing right? And something I thought was interesting that I saw was, now as the friend, I can have one of my friends come to me and tell me all the things that their partner's doing wrong, all the things that drive them crazy, that they're irritated, that they're frustrated about, the fights that they've been in. They're going to tell me that. And then they're going to go home and they're going to make up with their partner. They're going to work through it. They're going to talk through it. And then they're going to be better, right? Because they resolve those problems. Well, then you come back to that friend who you confided in with all of these things, who's still holding on to, man, that idiot, they're treating you like crap. And they're still holding on to that for you. So then when you come back and you're like, oh yeah, no, we made up. But your friend didn't make up with him. Your friend didn't have this resolve. Your friend is still holding on to all of that energy that you gave them to hold on to for their partner. So then what are you going to do when they come back? You're going to be like, yeah, but remember this? Remember this that they did? Remember this? And they're going to still be holding all of that energy because they didn't release that. They're still holding on to that. So I feel like that is huge when you are talking to your friends about your partner, because that's what they're going to reflect back onto you. They're pretty much just holding that for you until you come back, and then it's going to reflect back into them again.
Yep. How important it is to choose who you hang around and the energy to which that brings. The energy you bring to the space and the energy the space brings to you.
It's huge.
It's a give and a take. And you can be in the best of mindsets, the best of frames, the best of energies. But if you walk into a low energy, low vibration, low resource location or environment, you won't bring the environment up. The environment will bring you down.
I have been in a few rooms like this where it's definitely awkward.
She can keep talking. I'm adjusting Michaela's mic right now. We're just going to just keep
There you go. It's definitely awkward when you're in a room with a whole bunch of women who are all talking crap on their partners or saying all the things that they're doing wrong. And I was the only one who was like, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about my partner. Like, they're all going around the room talking about all the things their husbands are doing wrong that's driving them crazy. And then of course it gets around to me and I go, yeah, Brad and I are good. Like, he's great. We're awesome. Like, he's amazing. I love Brad for who he is. And they're like,
Say normally the immediate response to that is, no way.
Yep. There's something.
There's something. You're dreaming. It's not possible. It can't be like that.
Now I'm going to tell you right now, Brad is not perfect.
Oh, no, I'm perfect, guys. Just
fully perfect.
In my own way.
Yes. But I don't focus on those. I am constantly on a regular basis telling you all the things I'm grateful for, the things that you're doing right, the things that I'm so proud of you for the amazing husband you are, the amazing dad you are, and how hard you work. And that's where I focus. And then I find more of that. And I love our relationship and I love you as my partner because I am constantly seeing the good in you and seeing what you're doing to push yourself forward individually on top of as a husband and a father. And I love that. And I wish more women would talk about all the incredible things that their husband does for them instead of, oh, they were late home from work again. They said they'd be home at 5 and guess what? They didn't get home till 5:45 or whatever it may be, that maybe your husband wasn't perfect at his timing. A lot of men are not great at timing. But finding the good in them, and maybe they worked so hard today and coming home from work, they just want their wife to be there for them because they're exhausted from an extra long day at work, longer than they expected. But what are they going to get most of the time is they come home from work. Yes, they're 45 minutes late. They walk in the door, and the second they walk in, their wife is saying, great, you're late again. Awesome. That ruins my night because apparently it's all about me. And it's not. It's finding the things that lift your partner up. Nobody is perfect. No marriage is perfect. No relationship is perfect. We all have our trials, our struggles, and things that we're working on individually, but your partner should be the one who is lifting you up in those hard times instead of tearing you down.
So much in all that. Just go back and just re-listen to all of it because she touched on so many points. And one point that I really wanted to focus on a little bit is it truly is what you focus on. Is Michaela perfect? Yes. But no, obviously not. But that's not what I see. I do see perfection. It's not, I don't see imperfection. Man, I'm messing up my words. And how important it is. That comes by a lot of intention, a lot of practice, and a lot of self-talk to correct. At first, you don't naturally see that because humans, we don't naturally see that. We naturally see flaw because seeing flaw protects us. When you see good, things are great. Your mind can just glaze over it because there's no worry. There's no danger in good. There is danger in flaw. There is hardship in flaw. There is all the things your body wants to avoid in flaw. So it sees flaw naturally. So people say, oh, I just see the flaws in them. I just see the hardships in them. I just see the insecurities and the pains and the things they don't do well. Welcome to being human. That's normal because seeing those things is a precautionary measure your brain takes to ensure that you're safe. Now, seeing the resourceful side, the good, the bliss, the satisfaction, the joys, the smiles, all the good they do in this world, that takes intention, that takes work, and that takes self-correction. It's seeing an unresourceful side and then flipping it and saying, okay, what are they doing right now? What are they moving forward right now? How are they stepping forward in grace right now? So you can flip the thought. It takes approximately, this has been, I think, somewhat made up, but to some degree, 7 positive thoughts to negate one single unresourceful thought. it is a heavy balance on the unresourceful side because that is the side that we as humans naturally gravitate toward. Again, because of safety. But placing yourself in the proper rooms and talking to the right people. We've said on this podcast several different episodes, when we were first married, we had a rocky start. I was on hormone, as before I got in hormone replacement therapy, so my brain was all messed up. Her hormones were all jacked up, and we were just like a pile of mess. And so often, she was 19 in Utah and wanted a baby. And so when I was at work, I would delay coming home because I didn't want to go home to the chaos that I knew I would walk into, which is, I want a baby. Why won't you give me a baby? Don't you love me enough to give me a baby? And then one day, as I was venting to my coworker, it didn't help that she just exacerbated it and would bring it up and would bring it to the forefront of my mind. I just decided one day, this is not going to take me down a good path. And if I continue on this path, I will find my way to divorce. Guaranteed. So I've got to change it up. And the thing that initialed that was, is this what I signed up for? Is this what marriage really is? And I had to sit back and really think and say, well, what am I focusing on? What am I looking at? What am I paying attention to? Well, if I'm only paying attention to these few things, then I'm going to miss everything else that's beautiful about Michaela. So I consciously, at that point in time, we were married about 10 or 11 months, and I made the conscious effort of, I need to discontinue conversing with this coworker. I need to just straight get home, not stick around and have these conversations, because that is only increasing what I'm going to find when I get home. So it was a very conscious thought to start focusing on what she was doing right and what she was excelling at and what she was improving on. And she was in hair school and she went to nail school and got all of her esthetician stuff, and moving forward and progressing and learning and continued learning and all these things that were just so amazing that all I had to do was just pay attention.
Yeah.
Michaela's dumbfounded, dumbstruck.
Well, we've briefly talked about it, but it's fun to have you expound on it even more than you normally do.
Yeah.
And honestly, to see how far we've come. It's really cool, the trials and the struggles that we've been through. And then 10 years later to see where we are now. And I could never have pictured or imagined the life that we have now and the love that we have now. And I think that's really important, that if your relationship is struggling, it's not forever, especially if you work on it. Make the decision like you just said. Change the thought process right now. Change your thoughts. If they are negative, if they are unresourceful, change it right now, and you can change your entire relationship. Our relationship could have gone down a completely different path, and you made the change in that moment, that you weren't going to hold on to those unresourceful thoughts, that you were going to see the positives and flip it to be only the positives and not focus on the negatives. And now 10 years later, we have a stronger, happier, healthier relationship than we've ever had. And I'm so grateful for that. But it did not come without personal choice on a daily basis.
Which continues each day. I'm of the opinion that you're in a healthy relationship when they're walking up the stairs and you poke them in the butt.
One of the many
signs
of a healthy relationship.
I'm convinced. By the way, that goes both ways. Michaela pokes me in the butt too.
It's very true.
And playing, being together, sharing time together. I did an episode on my podcast about where you place the highest priority and value gets the most attention. Where are you placing your attention and intention? Are you placing your attention on the things that they're doing right or the things they're doing wrong? And then the second half, which we're way past half, but the second piece to this is, what are you telling your partner? Not just what are you seeing, what are you telling them? Are you saying, you messed up here, you didn't do that, you didn't wash the dishes, you didn't put away the laundry, you didn't walk the dog, you didn't clean up the dog poop, you didn't mow the lawn, you didn't bathe the kids, you didn't brush the kids' teeth. You can go on for a laundry list of things of you didn't do. And you're just pointing out all of their flaws. Or are you pointing out, you cleaned the kitchen, you mopped the floor, you put away the couch cushions, you put away the toys, you put away the blankets, you made our bed, you put away the laundry. Again, can be a laundry list of things they did right. But what are you telling them? Because they will reciprocate what you see, and what they know what you see by what you say.
You can also think of it this way of, are you speaking life into your partner instead of taking it away? Are you speaking these things to them that are just telling them all the things that they are doing wrong? And then if your partner says to you, I can never do anything right, I always do everything wrong, why can't I do anything right? You always say I do everything wrong. That right there might be a moment to look back at yourself and to say, okay, how often am I telling my partner all the things that they are doing instead of telling them all the things they're not doing? And
doing right.
And doing right. Are you speaking life into your partner?
Or are you speaking death?
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the other. You are either bolstering your partner or you're removing support. There is no in between. Nobody's perfect. And it's interesting that I've had this conversation as of lately, more than normal, speaking about healthy relationships. And it could be that I go to men's support groups and I go to groups to where people are struggling in their marriages, and most of these are men. And they just say, I don't know how to make it work. I'm not sure we can make it work. And it is a statistical fact, some of the best relationships in the world are arranged marriages. Most of the world does arranged marriages. More than half of the world does arranged marriages. And arranged marriages, there is no option for divorce. That is not in their vocabulary. And I've known many arranged marriages, and they do great because they focus on resourceful, they focus on good, and they focus on moving forward together. There is no option B. There is no, this didn't work for us. You make it work by choice.
And one thing I want to add briefly is, going along with this, that doesn't mean you don't have the hard conversations. That doesn't mean if things are bothering you or really irritating you that you let it build up and build up and build up until you just explode because you don't want to tell your partner what they're doing wrong. You find the time, and one thing that I love that we do is I won't wait until later that night if Brad does something. I will tell him in the moment in a casual conversation and just say, hey, that thing right there really bothered me. Either something you said or something you did. And we address it right there. And he'll be like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know. And when you address it, especially for men have short-term memory loss. Just going to throw that out there sometimes. So,
she's not wrong.
because they only have so much capacity in their brains, right? They are focused on specific things.
Everybody does.
So, yes. So you dump the things that you're not focused on.
Bingo. And
so for women hold on to these things, especially if it's irritating or frustrating. We have this not so great habit of building it up in our minds. And I feel like one thing that I love is that I'm not holding on to any of that, because if something bothers me, like really bothers me, not something that is just whatever, I can brush it off. It's not a big deal to me. But if something's actually a big deal to me, I will say it in the moment when it is happening so that you can associate it with what just barely happened. And you can connect it to how I'm feeling to what we just experienced. And then you can associate that. But if I hold it in and then I come to you 5 hours later and say, do you remember that thing you did at 11 a.m. this morning? Well, that bothered me. You're not going to remember that. You're going to be like, I don't even know what I friggin' did at 11 a.m. this morning. So addressing things in the moment when it happens, it really helps. So then you can speak life into your partner and you can focus on speaking life into your partner because you're not holding on to these things. First of all, letting go of the little things that don't really matter, focusing on the better things. But then if there is things that really bother you, address it right then and there when you are in the moment, mainly so that the man in a lot of situations can connect the two to be like, okay, this is something that bothers you and I can fix that.
And that removes rumination. It's the ruminating that you pour energy into. And when you put energy into it, it becomes more powerful. Women
usually just pour gasoline on the fire.
They gaslight themselves.
Yep.
And I had a brain fart. I was going somewhere with that. It's gone.
All right, well, next episode then.
Next episode. It will come out next episode. Maybe. Maybe not. One day, sporadically, it will come.
But don't hold on to it.
It's not coming. Okay. It was good, too. It was something about that topic. But I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyways, we're going to end on that then.
I love it. Speak life into your partner. That's what this is about. Don't hold on to the negative stuff. Don't hold on to anything unresourceful. Let it go, release it, and build your partner up.
I remembered it. It came to me, guys. So it's important enough. We have keywords. We've said this before. When we're in this situation where she needs to tell me I'm doing something stupid, she says, "You are being rude." That is my trigger and my oh crap moment. I messed up moment. And I have words for her too.
Yeah, you're saying I'm being a stupid head.
I'm being a butthead.
Or butthead. I'm like, I don't remember what it is.
Butthead. Tells you how often I use it. Not a whole lot. I call her a butthead and she calls me rude.
It's usually when it's that time of month.
It's usually that time of month I say you're being a butthead. But those are those are not used lightly. Those are keywords of I'm not happy right now. And we need to talk about this. And mine has always been lighthearted in purpose because she's fuming. So I tell her she's being a butthead and then she can go walk away and think about what she's done.
Yep. That's pretty much what happens.
But have keywords. It makes the situation go over much easier. If you have no idea what to say because you're pissed off, just use your keywords because that starts the conversation without having to figure out trying to start the conversation. It helps a ton. I promise you.
It does.
But have this conversation with your friends and family. Find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper.
And choosing us.
It is choosing us light now.
No, it's not.
You changed it again?
No, that's my personal account now.
Oh, yeah. Michaela said.
Okay, we're changing things
Guys,
up.
Announcement. Michaela made a Choosing Us podcast
page.
Instagram. It's its own page. So we're going to start pulling reels from these and putting them on there. So they're not just going to be on hers anymore. So Choosing Us for the podcast. Choosing Us Light.
Nope, Draper Light.
Draper Light. She's changed it.
Love it.
I'm all messed up. I don't even know anymore. I just know I'm Mr. Brad Draper. Nice and easy.
That's all you need to know.
All I need to know. All right. Like this thing. Subscribe to it. Download it for future listenings. We love you guys. Until next week. Bye.